Hoorah! It's me, episode 39 of The W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now today I wanted to do something. I want to do 10 people of Ontario wrestlers I would love to face. Now before people message me and say how my choices are wrong, these are people that I've never faced. If I've wrestled you in a match somewhere down the line, then you don't make the list. These are 10 Ontario wrestlers that I would like to wrestle that I never have before. Now I also want to mention, I put a lot of the veteran guys on there because it's not that I don't have respect for the young guys. One, I really just want to promote the history of Ontario and give guys their props that have been doing it for a long time. But I also feel I could learn more from wrestling these guys. And although I've been in the business 17 years, I always want to learn more. And what better way to work guys with experience and ask them or their opinion of what I can do better and whatnot. So for all the new guys that have been really doing good, I could do a list of like 40 guys in Ontario I would like to face. So I thought to cut it down, I would do guys that have been around, that have the experience, and I would do guys I've never faced. Like there's a lot of guys I would like to face. But if I wrestled them once before, maybe I didn't have a good match and I'd like to redeem myself. But they're not on the list. This is a list of guys I would like to wrestle that I feel I could learn from. And it's not in any particular order. But hey, let's do it. Episode 39. The first person I would really like to face is Quan Chang. Now I don't feel Quan gets the proper respect. He's been around doing it a long time. He's one of those true, scary heels that plays his part so well. He's got lethal kicks. He's been on many, many tours. He's done a lot of shows in the States and in Canada. And I always wanted to lock up with him. I've been on a lot of shows with him, but never competed against him. I would love to face Quan Chang. The next wrestler I would like to face, Jake O'Reilly. Him too I have been on a lot of shows with, and I'm just a big fan of Jake. I've watched him wrestle some great matches over the years, and I feel he just keeps getting better and better. And I feel like he's like the measuring stick. If you can go in there and keep up with him and earn his respect, then you really truly deserve it. And I've seen him wrestle some great matches against like Eric Carney and Eddie Osborne, and he had those strong style matches in the day against Andrew Davis that just blew my mind. And that takes us to the number 3 guy on the list, Andrew Davis. Him and me, we've both been around the same amount of time. He's had some great matches. He seemed to take a year or so off there, but now he's been back doing a lot of shows. He's one of the best technical wrestlers. I felt he didn't have a lot of charisma, but he's really been bringing that out, kind of like me as of late, where before he was just like straight cut to the point wrestler, and he always had great matches, but now he's even adding it a bit of charisma. And I just feel like pound for pound, he's very underrated. People don't give him the credit he really deserves of how great a wrestler Andrew Davis is. So he's the third one I wanted to mention. I also wanted to say Notorious T.I.D. I never got the chance to wrestle him. I would have always loved to. I could learn so much from him. He's been around. He's faced the best there is to offer. His respect is like through the roof that I have for him, and most other people do too. And I just feel like going in them against him, win or lose, I would come out a better wrestler in the end, and I think it would be just a great challenge for me. The next person I want to say is Bloody Bill Scullion. And I also got to mention, these are people that are still wrestling. There's a lot of people I wish I could wrestle that aren't wrestling anymore, and they have to be from Ontario still wrestling. Bloody Bill is on there. I always looked up to him. I always admired him. I was always scared of him. I met him in one locker room back at a Welland show. It was like my 6th show I ever did, and I shook his hand, and that was about it. And he probably doesn't even remember this, but I was always terrified of him, but it turns out he's actually a really nice guy. He just plays his character so well, and I feel like competing against him, he's got that old school mentality, and you come out a better person in the end. So those are my first 5. The next one I'd like to mention is Sebastian Suave. He's one that I always felt should have been even made it farther based on how great he is. He did some Japan things. He's done so many great indie matches, and I feel like going against him would be good business for everybody, but especially for me, because I would come out the winner in the end, whether I won the match or not. So I have a lot of respect for him also. Of course, Cody Deaner's on the list. just learning from this guy, being in his presence. He does so many seminars, and people pay money to be taught by him. And I feel what better way to be taught by him than going one-on-one with him in the ring. I've been on a lot of shows with him, but never had the chance to wrestle against him. And that goes the same for the next person, which is Tyson Dukes. He's the pioneer. He's the godfather, the legend in Ontario, still doing it at the highest level imaginable. And I feel like you go in there and you have a match with him, then you're going to walk out being 10 times better than you were. And you could just learn so much. Imagine getting the chance to pick his brain. The next person on the list I would like to say is Will White. He may not be doing it quite as long as these guys, but he's got such rave reviews. I've watched a couple of his matches on YouTube. He's such a great worker, and he motivates me daily with his Facebook posts, which reminds me, comment on my videos on Facebook. Help bump it up the feed. Tell me what matches you would like to have if you were a wrestler, or what matches you would like to see me in if you're a fan. But Will White is definitely on there. He's had a couple other personas. I would wrestle any persona he has, whether he has another one that he comes up with or whatever. I heard he was going to retire, and then now he's back wrestling, and I would love the chance to face him. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But the last one on my list, Ashley Six. He's been doing it for so long at such a high caliber, and then he had the medical scare there for a while, and then he came back stronger than ever, wrestling great matches. I've seen this one match of him in Ring of Honor where it was like a prospect tournament or something, and I really became a fan of him after that because I hadn't seen much from him before. I mean, I'd always heard great things. A lot of the wrestlers in the locker room always said that they learned from him, and I would love that chance too. So these are 10 guys that I would like to face that are wrestling in Ontario now. And like I said, there's so many more. Maybe I'll do one about like the young up-and-coming talent in the future. But those are the guys I just feel like I could learn the most from. And I mean, a lot of them do get the respect that they deserve, but some of them don't. And if you ever get a chance, if you're like a new upcoming, only been wrestling a couple years, if you get a chance to wrestle these wrestlers, don't be afraid to like tell them, look, like I respect your opinion. You've been around, you've done it. What can I do better? Like, people are always so afraid to like be under people's level. They want to be mutual with everybody. They want to say, oh, I'm just as good as you and I don't need to ask any questions. That was a mistake I always made. I always competed and I wanted the respect of the guys. And when I went out there, whether I earned their respect or not, I was always too scared or too shy to ask their opinion, when that's what you have to do. Because, one, what if you ever wrestle them again? Then you're going to know what they expect, what they want, and two, you're never going to get better unless you're doing shows and asking a lot of questions. It doesn't make you a mark, or it doesn't make anything bad about you if you're asking questions, because people respect that. And besides, it strokes their ego a bit. And they respect people that want to get better and want to learn. And what better way than wrestling any of these 10 guys who I just have so much respect for all of them. There's so many more that could have been on the list. Sorry about the ones I left out. I will do more in the future. And remember, like or you get a leg drop. Comment or you get a clothesline. Subscribe or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero, episode 39. I love wrestling. Cuba!